Hi all, welcome to plant growth. So today we're going to talk about what the different cells are that make your plant grow. I know, not the most interesting topic. As we go through the lectures, I want you to think about what can you do for your IA. Remember your IA, you guys are going to have to do some experiment with plants. So as you start gaining knowledge, hopefully there's something that interests you, that you come up with some question that you go, oh, this is what I want to spend my time researching. Remember your IA is going to be like a month-long process. So you really want to be interested in what you're doing. So there are three types of plant tissue that we're interested in. And all three types of plant tissue arise from meristemic tissue. This is what a stem cell is in plants. So it has a special name, but it is essentially a stem cell, and all other types of cells arise from it. During division, one cell will always stay meristemic and the other one differentiates. So you always have a source of stem cells in your plants, so you can always have new growth. The three types of tissue are dermal. Dermal is the skin. Just like your skin protects you from viruses and disease and damage, so does the dermal layer of a plant. This dermal layer will also prevent water loss, really important in our desert-dwelling plants. Ground tissue is the tissue that is responsible for photosynthesis. So how does this plant get energy? It's responsible for storage of the sugars and of nutrients. It gives the plant support so that plant can remain upright, and secretion of pheromones and hormones and all of that good stuff. And then we have vascular tissue. Vascular tissue in the plant is like the veins and the arteries. It's what's going to move water around. It's going to move nutrients around. And in plants, we call this vascular tissue either phloem or xylem. An apical meristem is going to be where primary growth occurs, where this plant is going to get bigger, whether it's the roots getting longer to find water or whether it's the plant growing taller. Your apical meristem is the growth of the plant taller or deeper. The lateral meristem is your plant getting fatter, so it goes out laterally, it gets wider. When we talk about your lateral meristem, this is going to be your vascular tissue, your phloem and your xylem. It's a major component of wood, so old phloem and xylem becomes that thick woody part of your plant. And we have cork cambium, which forms cork, or the outer bark of your tree. This is secondary growth. So you have to get tall and you have to get deep with your roots, and then you can get fatter or wider with added vascular tissue. Guys, anytime you see a chart like this in one of my lectures, you could be asked to replicate this chart on an exam. So if they say compare apical meristem to lateral meristem, you're going to look at the things that you can use to compare them. So the position of the meristem, the origin, the timing of the activity, the cell products. And for each one of these, you need to have a statement for apical and a statement for lateral. You can't just list, here's the lateral stuff and here's the apical stuff. That's not comparison. You have to have a statement for both things. So when we look at this comparison of growth, when we talk about the position of the meristem, apical is going to be at the tips of the stem or the tips of the roots, whereas lateral is going to be primarily phloem, xylem, wider. The origin, embryonic stem cells, when we talk about apical meristem, cambium, which are meristemic cells, stem cells left over from primary growth. Timing of the activity. Well, you have to go tall and deep first, so it's initial, versus lateral meristem is now going to go wider, it's older, it's later in life. What cell products are there? When we talk about apical, we have the epidermis, the ground tissues, the primary phloem and xylem or vascular tissues. When we talk about lateral, it's secondary phloem and xylem. And what's the outcome? Well, when we talk apical, your plant's getting bigger, like taller. When we talk about lateral, the outcome is it's getting fatter or wider. We have a hormone that's important in our plants, and that hormone is auxin. If you ever leave a plant in front of a window, you're going to see that plant is going to bend towards the light, and then you can spin your plant around and it's going to bend back the other direction. This is one of the ways that they respond to their environment because they need light for photosynthesis. And so they put the auxin, the growth hormone, on the shady side of the plant, and it causes that side of the stem to grow faster and longer, which then causes the stem to tilt. This is called phototropism, so you are moving or bending in relationship to the sun. Highest concentration in the tips of the stem, and that's important because if you think about like the trunk of the tree, that's wood, that's hard. It's not going to be able to bend and move. Whereas you talk about the limbs of the tree, they're still flexible. Like you could take a limb of a tree and kind of bend it gently. You can't take the trunk of the tree and do that. What else does auxin does? Auxin will change the pattern of gene expression. So it's a hormone that can change your genes. It can cause cell division, so you have bigger growth. It can differentiate cells into phloem and xylem, which transport different things. It can make flowers bloom. So if you have a high level of auxin, you're going to get blooms. It can cause fruit production without pollination. So if you want to make a seedless watermelon, you can apply this hormone and you'll get that watermelon without the seeds. And it can develop or suppress lateral, sideways movement of the tree. All right, that's where we're going to end for today.